Hey guys, I'm Tobin.
And I'm Jay. Today we are going to talk about a very touchy subject to a lot of people, but I'm not scared of the subject, so we're going to talk about it. Identity politics. Alright, so if you don't know what identity politics is, you might have an idea of what it might be. You might have heard someone say it or use it in a sentence talking about something, but we're just going to taking this definition off Wikipedia. It's similar to other definitions I've found. But basically, it's a political approach and analysis based on people prioritizing the concerns most relevant to their particular racial, religious, ethnic, sexual, social, culture, or other identity, and forming exclusive political alliances with others in this group, instead of engaging in more traditional broad-based party politics. Those who prioritize their particular type of identity politics may promote their group's interests without regard for the interests of larger, more diverse political groups. So, there's a definition of identity politics. I mean, just from watching the news and I've seen the Democrats use identity politics. Basically, they're very proud of it.
Extremely.
Okay? But the problem is it groups people, it puts people in these groups based off the color of their skin or their ethnicity or their gender.
True.
Or, you know what I mean? Men against women, women against men. Yeah, blacks against whites, Hispanics against whites, Hispanics against blacks. It even happens in other countries. I mean, I think it is a form of racism.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, at least discrimination. I mean, if you're putting people in a group and you're saying, yeah, we're in this group, but you don't have the same skin color of us, so you cannot join us.
We don't allow you because you're not white or black or Mexican, Latino, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I honestly, there's not many subjects that really get me worked up, but this is one of the subjects that really gets me worked up. Because, I mean, most of the time when I hear people on the far left say, oh, you're racist, you're a bigot, you're this, that, and the other if you support Trump, you're the, you know what I mean? I honestly laugh it off, but personally, I do take serious offense to that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, because I'm not a racist, I'm not a bigot, neither are you.
Nope.
You know what I mean? And I'd say the large majority of Trump supporters are not. Okay? So, diversity is a fantastic thing.
It is.
It's awesome to have different people from different backgrounds, from different ethnicities and different
Huge.
Anyway, it's a great thing, but the thing is the Democrats have monopolized it. They've said we're the only party with diversity. They specifically pick certain people, like the impeachment, the House team that came to impeachment to make a case against the president. They had one of they had a black man, they had a white woman, a white man, an Asian man, I think. So they mean to do that.
They target it purposely.
They want to make it so that, look, all the people on the president's team are white, and we have the diverse group, right? The problem is it's not, identity politics is not a good type, it's not diversity.
No, it's not.
It's not diversity.
No.
You're putting people in these tight groups.
These buckets.
Right, but the problem is it alienates. If you're making a group and you're saying we're only in this group because of this one thing we have in common, our skin color, you're alienating a whole nother group.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So it's the opposite of promoting individuality, right? Being your own person. And I'd say that the Democrats would go and say that. Well, when I say Democrats, we don't, I'm talking about far left Democrats. I know there's a lot of there's Democrats with some common sense, when it comes to these subjects. But I'm talking about the party as a whole, the leadership of the party, where the party's been going. They've just been going further and further left. Okay, so the left. Anyway, it's the opposite of promoting individuality. And they say that they're proud of their individual selves, and so that's why you should basically celebrate the color of your skin. You need to celebrate this and celebrate that about you, right? But make sure you stay in this group. Make sure you don't go over there.
Or you're gonna get shoot out.
Do you know how many black people are persecuted by far left Democrats because they're black and they're Republicans or conservatives?
Yeah.
Candace Owens,
Mm-hmm.
they call her an Uncle Tom. They say that she's a disgrace to the
their
black community. I mean, this is just, it's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely disgusting. And she's just trying to get people to think freely.
Yeah.
Like, okay, black people don't have to support Democrats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not in our blood to support Democrats. Yeah. You know, this is the other part too. I was saying about civil rights. Oh, yeah. Did I even mention civil rights?
No, yeah.
No. All right, so I'm mentioning civil rights now. So the civil rights movement, that was not identity politics. That was the exact opposite of identity politics.
Of course.
That was against identity politics.
I was trying to stop
separating people, segregation from the skin color.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is, you know what I'm saying? It's just the opposite. And you asked me when we were talking about Martin Luther King Jr. earlier.
Which I looked it up.
Well, you asked me, you're like, was he a Republican or a Democrat? And honestly,
no one ever. He never declared it.
I didn't even know. I'm like,
well, actually, it states that he never really he never ever declared
affiliated himself.
What party he was. He was
right.
just like neutral territory.
Right. But I just found that amazing because, like, when I was younger, like, I think the first time they told us about Martin Luther King, showed us a video and stuff, cartoon movie. I think it was like second grade.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite things. I thought it was like, wow, like this is crazy how our country was and how this one man organized all this and basically freed the black people from this segregation
and all that. Mind.
I mean, and you had whites marching down the streets, thousands with blacks holding hands, and they were getting persecuted by other, like, I thought it was amazing. So when you asked me, like, what political party was he, and I didn't know, I thought I knew enough about Martin Luther King that I could tell you that. And I'm like, no. Well, that's how you know that the guy had a true great great cause.
Yeah.
Something that was the right direction. This identity politics is just fill in whatever you want there. It's frustrating because
of course.
It's the exact opposite of Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech, I Have a Dream, where he talks about, I hope my kids grow up in a place one day where they're judged on the content of their character and not the color of their skin.
Yeah.
All right. The other problem I mentioned earlier, how it alienates an entire group.
Oh, huge.
Okay. We know that in this world, groups kind of cross over. Sometimes you can have, say we're both white.
Yeah.
But you drive a Jeep.
Yeah.
I drive a Ram.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're in this group.
Yeah.
But I drive a Jeep and you drive a truck. But we have this one thing in common. And we could not know each other, not like each other, nothing. But we got this one thing in common, right? So someone would be like, hey, you're both white, so you think exactly the same. Does that make any sense to you?
No, it doesn't.
No,
not at all.
It doesn't make sense. So I'm going to bring up this one word, Charlottesville. Now, if I know if you don't remember what happened in Charlottesville, the beginning of it. So basically, these liberals wanted to take down this statue at the college campus. And I think it was of a Confederate General Lee.
Yeah,
General Lee.
Yeah.
All right? That's a famous part of our history.
Huge.
The Civil War. I mean, no matter what side you were on, this is not history that we should erase.
No, never, ever.
I'm just saying, because it stands there as a symbol of what we were. Mm-hmm. And now what we have become.
Yeah.
Which is a lot better of a version.
Yeah.
So Charlottesville, though. People died when this alt-right idiot went and drove his car through hundreds of people at 60 miles an hour and killed this lady, and I think he injured a ton of people. That was just messed up. But the problem was President Trump came out and he said when he first started his speech, he said, I condemn the white supremacists.
Yep.
And I condemn all forms of racism. Okay? And he continued to talk. right? And he said this famous line from that speech. He said, there were good people on both sides. Now, I want you to understand, this is the response that the left had to this was identity politics to a T. But their response to, they're great people on both sides? Wait a second. Weren't there alt-right people there? Weren't there white supremacists the night before, who hundreds of them who came with torches? And it was an awful sight. It was an awful sight.
Bad.
Okay? But there were a large majority of people who were upset about them taking down the statue.
Massive.
Who showed up to this rally, right? And these neo-Nazis, pieces of crap, were there. Well, Black Lives Matter was also there, right?
Yep.
Against the racists there.
Yeah.
Then there were groups who weren't Black Lives Matter, but they wanted the statue down anyway.
Yep.
So you have these different factions, okay? And what happened was, in the media, they portrayed it as it was all these white supremacists on one side. It was all white supremacists. And the president said there was good people on both sides. They were not all white supremacists because their skin color was white. All right? And the Black Lives Matter people, they hated everybody who was on the other side. No matter if you were white or whatever your skin color was, they hated everybody. So that's where you have to make, if you start playing identity politics, now you're grouping people into giant groups just because the color of their skin. That's dangerous.
It is.
And I'm sorry. I'll let you interject. I'm on my own.
No, it's fine. I agree with that part, and especially it hurts. Like, say if a Asian or a Latino wanted to vote Republican, they didn't see it was right for what the Democrats does. But yet, that when you get in that segment, then that's when it conjuncts everybody all together, and it's like, but I want to vote for that guy. Why do I have to vote for that guy versus that guy?
And then they're treated like crap.
Yeah,
and they're called traitors. And
bigots.
It's
ridiculous.
You're a traitor to your own race. That is just absolute. That's racist.
Sorry,
I don't know what's
how else you can say.
You know what I mean? So anyway, that is just touching just a little bit.
Too much to a bomb.
I mean, there is so much on this topic. I mean, the problem with it is it joins conservatives, Republicans, libertarians, and independents with KKK, neo-Nazis, and alt-right, just because the color of our skin. And I just want to say real quick, the far left, who are the extreme left, I guarantee you, they are a lot bigger. There's a whole lot more of them. And they're a whole lot more violent than the far right.
Oh, huge.
I'm not defending the far right.
No.
That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm not trying to do that here because you know what I mean? They deserve to be in hell for their ignorant ideas and their actions. It's disgusting.
It is nasty.
But I'm just saying, the far left, these Antifa people, are just as bad. All right? Racism is bad no matter what skin color you are being racist against.
Pink, blue, yellow, green.
It doesn't matter. I'm sorry, but this was a very, you know what I'm saying? I get worked up when I talk about this subject, man.
I know how to feel I get very worked up about people who don't have a drive to want to work and they want to be lazy, and how our teachers, which will be on another dedicated video, how our teachers itself are more liberal and teaching our kids about their ways instead of saying your job right there is to literally teach them how to work and do a good job. Our job as parents is to say, okay, this is what's happening. This is what part of you should go off. But again, you're your own individual. You just choose your way. We got
all our own. This was just one of the ones that was just actually like really. Oh, my face is so hot right now, dude. I'm so red.
I can see red.
But that's just a little summary of I just want you guys to know this is an opinion show. You know what I mean? We'll come out with facts. Like, if I'm going to tell you the definition of something, I'm going to tell you where it's coming from. Yep. I'm going to tell you, you know what I mean? Like the Martin Luther King thing, he didn't have a political party that he, really was, he didn't claim a certain one. So we're going to tell you things like that. But as it goes for, we'll give you as much information as we can and the opinions of how, when I say I feel, I feel. Yeah. But thank you guys for watching, and see you next episode.
We're out.